They are playing better football right now. I'm not saying I would pick them to win. Be careful here. They are playing better football right now than Kansas City and Buffalo.
Yes.
Buffalo's winning the way that the Steelers won earlier in the year. Kansas City won with field goals.
Mason, I asked you this week what you wanted to do with this second chance, one thing you wanted to do. You said you wanted to have more fun.
The Pittsburgh Steelers obviously are coming off their greatest offensive performance of the season with Mason Rudolph leading them to a massive dub.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to State of the Steelers. Welcome back to the film room. We're going to be breaking down Mason Rudolph and the Pittsburgh Steelers passing game and their victory over the Seattle Seahawks 30-23 this past Saturday, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Please hit that like and subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you're notified of all our content. With that being said, let's get into it. So the plays that I pulled out, I basically wanted to show a couple of different things. One of the main things I wanted to show was some of the things that Mason Rudolph is doing differently from the quarterback position that hasn't been done this season, up to the point where Mason Rudolph took over as the starting quarterback. Now, on this first play that we're going to look at, this is going to be the first third down of the game. And what the defense is going to be doing is they're going to be showing cover two safeties up at the top, and you have man coverage across the board. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be running a couple of go routes, one from the slot, one from the outside, and a couple of comeback routes inside. And then you're going to have Deontay Johnson out of the slot, come over the middle and then cut back down towards the sideline. Now, what makes this play successful is Mason Rudolph. The reason being is, as you can see right off the bat, he's looking at coverage up at the top of the screen. And he notices this safety here that is highlighted. He is in position that if Mason Rudolph throws it over the top to Pickens, he's there. At this point, Mason has looked off to the under route, and the safety is going to cover that route. There is a throw to be made over the top to George Pickens there. He does come open, but by the time he comes open, Mason Rudolph has already gone to his next read, which is to Deontay Johnson, gives him an opportunity to get the first down, which he does. Again, this was third down, weighty down play. Let me rewind this. This is from the view of the protection. I know a lot of people are going to say, is like, well, the offensive line has blocked a lot better for Mason Rudolph versus, Kenny Pickett. And I think that the offensive line has blocked better because of Mason Rudolph. I think Kenny Pickett, sometimes having to move the pocket around and being more mobile in the pocket and honestly leaving some clean pockets got him into some trouble. Mason Rudolph is more of a pocket passer. He's cool, calm, and collective in the pocket, which is something we haven't seen from Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. And like I said, you can see him kind of scan the field before he finds Deontay Johnson, who's, I think, his third read. On this play here, this is showing Mason Rudolph, again, going through his progressions, finding the open receiver. Now, on this play, I think this is the one that ended up getting flagged for illegal motion by Pat Freiermuth, but I think that was a bullcrap call. As you can see, he's already lined up and set before the ball is snapped. He's not moving forward. What the defense is doing is they're going to have single high safety on the bottom side of the screen. Everybody's going to drop back. Looks like they're playing zone. Top half of the screen where you have George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth. They're going to do a scissor kind of route. They're going to cross in front of each other. Their guys are playing man on top of them. And because of the defenders on the bottom of your screen moving out and because of the receivers clearing, that area at the top of the screen, that's going to leave Deontay Johnson wide open for an easy pitch and catch. So as you can see, Mason Rudolph is looking at the two receivers at the top of your screen. Those are his first and second read. Then he comes down to Deontay Johnson. Again, this is stuff that Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky just weren't doing. I really like this play from Mason Rudolph. And the reason being is last week, there was a lot of speed outs where you'd have a receiver run up 8, 10, 12 yards and then cut to the outside towards the sideline. And Mason Rudolph was hitting those on point. Now, if you look at the tape, he was very decisive, almost as if he knew he was going to throw there before the snap. Well, the Seattle Seahawks saw that and they anticipated for some of these speed routes. And in this play here, I think that's the first route is the speed route. The Seahawks end up covering it well. He comes off of it and goes to George Pickens over the top, wide open, showing he's not just making the first read, and then if it's not there, still staying there. He's moving off that read if it ends up being covered correctly, if his pre-snap read didn't check out. Because as you can see, the Seattle Seahawks have a single high safety. They have a cornerback on George Pickens. It looks like press to me in that situation in the slot. And then you have Deontay Johnson with a cornerback, giving him some cushion. So this looks like man, and the speed route would be one of the routes to go to when you're looking at man. However, at the snap of the ball, you're going to see that it is zone. Mason Rudolph reads that and goes to a second read. Wide open. But as you can see, it wasn't the 1-2 off the back foot and go. He held it and then had to come back, saw it wasn't open, made the second read, made the throw. Those were things that we weren't seeing out of Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky. I'll show it again. And you can see Mason Rudolph, check him out. He's getting hit again as he's letting go of the ball. So this is with some extreme pressure in his face. And George Pickens needs to hold on to the ball there at the end. This is a third down play to Deontay Johnson in the slot. Again, you have what looks like is going to be man coverage. And in this situation, the speed out is the right throw. The like 5 yards out, just beyond the line to gain. Good throw, very accurate throw by Mason Rudolph. And this is, again, third down. Gets the first down in the red zone. Continues the drive. This would end up in a touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, in this game, the Pittsburgh Steelers were running the ball at will. And so when they did do some play action pass, it worked very well and was very effective. In this situation here, you're going to have a go route at the top for George Pickens, and you're going to have a deep crossing route from Deontay Johnson at the bottom of the screen. The play action is going to pull in those linebackers. And because Mason Rudolph has been so accurate over the top, especially towards George Pickens is going to track the safety and the cornerback with him, leaving Deontay Johnson wide open. Play action pass. You see the linebackers have moved up. You see the safety and the cornerback are backpedaling because George Pickens is running full force at them. Gives Deontay Johnson a wide open area to get the ball. If you noticed, he took quite a few steps back there because this was going to be a play that was going to be a longer developing play. Hung in there, waited out. This play probably isn't one that we've seen with Kenny Pickett or Mitch Trubisky because, as Deontay Johnson had said in a previous interview, Mason Rudolph sticks in there. Throws it a little high, can be a little bit lower, but again, we have to remember that this is Mason Rudolph's second game in 2 years. Leading up to the first game, he had 3 practices. I'm assuming he probably had the same amount of practices up to this point. So he's had 6 practices and 1 game up until this game. So I do expect there to be some timing issues here and there. And once they get a little bit more chemistry with each other as the season progresses, hopefully, maybe those passes will be more accurate and on time. This is going to be the deep pass to George Pickens. These are the routes that the Pittsburgh Steelers receivers are going to be running. As you can see, there's no safety back there. So this is going to be man. You can assume there's going to be quite a bit of pressure. Obviously, some of these defenders can jump out. But given there's no safety back there, that's pretty dangerous if you're going to drop everybody back. Your best bet is to get as much pressure as you can. But it is man coverage, and I think that Mason Rudolph does identify that. Seattle did bring 6, so this is a blitz. Mason scans the field, hangs tight in the pocket with a lot of pressure. The pocket is crumbling around him. Throws the ball down the field, makes a throw where only George Pickens could get to it. Given the situation, right? Given the fact, and let's put it there. Given the fact that this pocket is crumbling right there around Mason Rudolph, look, he's not going to be able to step into this throw. He's not going to be able to precisely put this ball there. And in order for this ball to be completed, there's going to be quite a bit of arm talent that's going to be required. Something I don't think that we would see something like this from Kenny Pickett or Mitch Trubisky. That was just a beautiful throw, beautiful catch. You know, these guys are on the same page. Mason Rudolph has made George Pickens wide receiver #1, in my opinion. Now, this is going to be the last pass play of the day. There's going to be on first down after the onside kick. Seattle has a couple of timeouts here. And if the Steelers need to get a first down, I believe it's under 2 minutes. And everybody's thinking Pittsburgh Steelers are going to try to run out this game. They're up by 7. And what do? They get aggressive. So what you have is man coverage here at the bottom of the screen, and you have everybody in the box there. No safety at the top. And it's not the easiest throw for Mason Rudolph. He puts it on George Pickens' back shoulder and to protect him. You see, if he leads him out there, one, he's probably going to run into Devin Bush, which, well, maybe he probably run him over. But he's not going to get the yards, and he's honestly leading him into some trouble. So by throwing it where he did and leading him back like this, it forced George Pickens to turn around towards the sideline, bring him free for a few extra yards. And why this play is so great is, let's just say that the Seattle Seahawks would have stopped the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? And they used their timeouts, and there was, I don't know, something like a minute left in the game or 40 seconds left in the game. The Steelers can then kick a field goal at that point and go back up by 10, thus closing the game out. Fortunately for the Steelers, they were able to hand the ball to Najee Harris. He should have had his 3rd touchdown on the day. He slid down, just before he got there. It's probably the smarter move to prevent any type of injury. I mean, we all saw what happened to Nick Chubb out there in Miami when he was out there in garbage time, and no need to be running extra plays and things like that. So, Najee Harris makes the smart decision, kneels down there at the end, and the Steelers take a knee, win the game, get out of there, move to 9-7 on to Baltimore with a chance to go to the playoffs. The play on Saturday, 4:30, I believe. They got to win and then get some help. So we'll be watching, NFL football all weekend in hopes that the Pittsburgh Steelers make it into the playoffs. I'll be doing another video breakdown on the running game a little bit later on this week. Please hit that like and subscribe button, ring that notification bell if you have not done so already. I appreciate everybody and all the new subscribers and viewers. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.